Hello, it is I, Alex, the Euro expert. I am here to talk you through Euro 2020, and I know in the title it said an international football expert, or football insider, I haven't decided on it yet, and you're looking at me and thinking, really? Listen, I am not even trying to clickbait, I've actually got some legitimate reasons why, and I've got 3 of them. So, number 1 is that I've been studying the Euros since last year, shortly after it was cancelled, and I've been following nearly every international team throughout the year. 2, I've been running the world's most popular Euro 2020 podcast, mainly because me and my co-host Rizik Sakar started it way earlier than anybody else. And 3, I've proved that I am incredibly the best at predicting things. Yeah. Right, let's kick it off. Who will be the flop? It will be one of 2 nations. It's going to be either Germany or the Netherlands, or both. First of all, let's start with Germany. They've had some dreadful recent fixtures. They lost to North Macedonia earlier in the year. Late last year, they lost to Spain 6-0. They looked incredibly poor in both games. And Jurgi Low, since 2018, has barely filled anyone with confidence. And even though he's recalled some of his trusted stalwarts, I don't know, these are the same players that led Germany to failure in 2018. The Netherlands are a bit more of a trickier prospect. Obviously, they're in a group which they should, on paper, win. However, with Frank de Boer in charge, the former Crystal Palace manager, they're really also set up badly. Frank de Boer's also called up players like Ryan Babel, apparently purely for his motivation and morale. I don't know, I'm a bit worried for the Netherlands, and if you saw their 4-2 loss to Turkey, you'll kind of know why they're not in the best of shape. That leads me on perfectly to who will surprise. Now, I've made no secret about it, especially on this channel, that it will be Turkey. Turkey have clearly got the best squad of the other nations, the best of the rest, in terms of Burak Yilmaz, Hakan Çalhanoğlu. You've got lots of players there. They've got a very good manager called Sinan Güneş, who has led this team into a different sort of style than you would expect. And you can either look at my other video to find out more about them, or you can buy the latest version of the Modern Footballer, where I write at heavy length about them, and it's a really quality magazine. You should buy it. If you can. If you can't buy it, I don't know, message me and we'll sort something out. Okay, we are going to leave the teams now. We're going to be going more in depth in them in a bit, but we're going to focus on the player side of things. So first of all, who's going to be the top scorer? Now, I've got noted down Harry Kane and Kylian Mbappe. I think they'll be tied as the top scorers. First of all, let's start with Harry Kane. England are in a pretty easy group, and Kane is a player who will be taking penalties, he'll be taking free kicks, and he'll be on the end of every England chance, and he's also in banging form and bang form. He's going into this tournament pretty much injury-free. It looks like a good summer for Kane, and I think even if England don't really make it to the round of 16, he'll get enough goals to rack up a decent tally. Kylian Mbappe, on the other hand, will be with France. He'll be the man as well on a similar amount of chances. He's been doing incredibly well in France. This has been his best season yet in Ligue 1. So I think with France, especially going deeper into the tournament, he's going to be racking up the goals too. I just don't think as heavily as Harry Kane, and that's why they will finish tied, probably on about 5 or 6 goals. Okay, let's go into the breakout star next. It's a bit of a different one. I've got Alexander Zinchenko. Zinchenko has been made captain of Ukraine by the manager Andrei Shevchenko. Yes, you heard the name right. That came after he received death threats when he made a bit of a mistake for Ukraine. But here's the thing as well, and here's a tip for your fantasy team. Although Zinchenko is classed as a defender in the club view, he plays as a deep line playmaker or an attacking midfielder for Ukraine, and he's been one of their better players. So I think Zinchenko's going to have a really good tournament in a resurgent Ukraine. Okay, next up is the most clean sheets / least goals conceded. That's pretty easy for me. That's Donnarumma. I think they are going to concede, that being Italy, in their first game against Turkey. But after that, they're going to keep a clean sheet against Switzerland and Wales. They'll go into the knockout stages, and I think Italy got one of the best defences in the tournament, and they should be fine, and Donnarumma should concede the least goals / get the golden glove, or whatever it's called in Euro 2020. Player of the tournament. Now, I'm not saying this will be the best player, which I know sounds a bit counterproductive. I'm saying this will be the person who will get rewarded player of the tournament, and I think it will be N'Golo Kante, mainly because he's driving a really big Ballon d'Or campaign. He's extremely likeable. I think France will go further into it, into the tournament, as I said before, and Kante will play every minute of that and thus will be awarded the award. unless someone does something absolutely ridiculous and steals it off of him. Okay, last one, high profile flop is going to be Robert Lewandowski. Even though he's going into this tournament after breaking Gerd Müller's record in the Bundesliga for the most goals scored in Germany, Lewandowski's playing for Poland. They've historically been quite poor in international tournaments, so I think Lewandowski's not going to get the goals for Poland, and he will be one of the players that people were saying he's going to do amazingly well, and then it's going to come to the tournament and he's going to drop out. Okay, so let's walk you through the tournament. In Group A, Italy are going to finish first and Turkey will finish second, followed by Switzerland. There's not much to say here apart from Italy clearly being the favourites in the group. As I said, Turkey will still finish second. Switzerland will do okay, but they'll be outshined by a horrific Wales side. Wales have had probably the worst preparation for an international sporting tournament. Group B, let's keep it pretty quick. Belgium are going to beat Denmark and win the group. Denmark will finish second, Russia will finish third, and Finland will finish fourth. We're going to speak more about Belgium in a bit though. In Group C, Ukraine are going to win the group, the Netherlands will finish second, and Austria will finish third. The reason I'm saying Ukraine is because historically they've been dreadful in the Euros, and Andrei Shevchenko's left a bit of a revolution over there. They've got a really talented squad. I know I can say that for every team, but they've got lots of players coming through. You've got Viktor Tisanogov on the right wing, who's got a great goal against Spain earlier this season. They've, as I said, Andrei Shevchenko, they've got a good manager who's really proved himself since he took over in Euro 2016 when they finished with 0 points in the group stages. But I think Ukraine are going to have a really good tournament, and the Netherlands, as I said, I think they'll be the flop. I think they're going to get out of the group stages, but we'll get onto them in a minute. Group D, England are pretty simply going to finish first, Croatia will finish second, and the Czech Republic will finish third. Group E, Spain are going to win. It's an easy group. Sweden will finish second, and Poland, as I kind of mentioned, they're going to finish third. Finally, the main group, Group F. France are going to win the group, Portugal are going to finish second, and Germany will finish third. Germany, I think as well, as we're going to get onto, they are going to go out at this stage because in the Euros, the third place team gets put into a qualifying spot and it's based off how many points they get, or something complicated in their group. And then the six third place teams go into this league table, and from that I've got Russia to finish first, in that Austria to finish second, Poland to finish third, and Czech Republic to finish fourth. So those 4 teams will go through into the knockout stages, and that'll be based mainly because of the points they accrue in their groups. Whereas Germany, I don't see them beating France or Portugal, but I do see them beating Hungary, and I think that's what's going to put them down in this third place thing. Quickly moving on now, let's get into the really nitty gritty bit. The round of 16. The first fixture is Italy v the Netherlands. Now, Italy will win this. Then let's fire through some more. Turkey are going to breeze past Denmark. Belgium will beat Poland. Ukraine will lose against the Czech Republic. I know I mentioned that Ukraine will have a good tournament, but I do think the Czech Republic also have a strong team. And if Ukraine get out of the group stages, they'll be seen as a success and in their own nation, and this will be seen as a huge stepping stone. Next up, Croatia will beat Sweden. France will easily get past Russia. Spain will beat Austria, and England v Portugal. Here is the big one. Before the tournament, before this video, I was certain England would go out in the round of 16, but I think I've built up a lot of natural hate to Gareth Southgate, which I think is a bit unfair, and it's just a natural response to England because you're always pessimistic. And I thought Portugal would get to the final, but I'm going to reverse it here. I think England are going to beat Portugal. I think Portugal are a bit too overly defensive, and that's what's going to let them down. Fernando Santos will maybe even get fired after this tournament. So I think England are actually going to get past Portugal, and that'll be their big result of Euro 2020. That means we're moving on to the quarterfinals. It'll be the repeat of the 2018 final, Croatia v France. Again, France have got too much of a good squad. They're going to get past Croatia. Then it's going to be Belgium v Italy, and this is where I think Belgium will go out. This is a team that's brought up Nasser Chadli, Thomas Vermaelen, Michy Batshuayi, and Christian Benteke. That is not a deep squad. They're not very good. Then we would get to the Czech Republic v Turkey, and this is where I think Turkey would go through to the semi-finals. I think they will get past the Czech Republic in what I predict will be a magical summer for Turkish people. And then we would get onto Spain v England, and this is where England's summer will die and Spain will knock them out in the quarterfinals. And that will bring a bit of criticism of Gareth Southgate, because people will say, oh, we wanted you to get to the final. So we're going to get both ends of it. We're going to get the criticism of Southgate and him not doing well enough, but we're not going to see a total flop from England. Whereas Spain, they've got a good team. They're calling up Aymeric Laporte, I believe, for the Euros. They're going to get past England. Now, let's move on to the semi-finals. This is the big point. We will have France v Italy. Turkey v Spain. See, it would be really easy for me to say, Turkey are going to have a magical summer, they're going to win the Euros, I'm in love with Burak Yilmaz. But no, you have to insert a bit of logic here and think, hang on paper, Spain should beat Turkey, you have to back the higher odds. So Spain are going into the Euro 2020 final, and they will be playing France. Even though I've bigged up Italy here, France are simply too good. That's not to say the national team's without its flaws, and believe me, I'm going to make a video at some point about how the French national team's completely destroying its own future, but that's a separate day. And let's move into the final. It will be France v Spain, and France will win Euro 2020. They've got the most ridiculously talented squad, and while Spain will have a bit of a resurgent summer, France should win this, the whole tournament, even if it's not against Spain, even against Portugal, like in my previous predictions I've done on the Eurowatch podcast. France will win this. That is a fact, and you can come back to this. That is my Euro 2020 insight and predictions. Hopefully you've learned something, and if this video reaches 20 likes, I'll give you a bit of help on your Euro fantasy teams, and then we can all beat our mates this summer. Thank you guys. Bye bye.